Hello and welcome to my Wealth Odyssey. This is episode 2 and this is my portfolio update for May 2025. Now at the end of April 2025 I had a closing balance of £4,092.61. I'm aiming to add £500 per calendar month from my salary. Now in April I actually led a very frugal lifestyle. And instead of adding £500, you'll see from the table that I've actually managed to add £1,000. So that brings my total investment into the portfolio up to £5,000. But before I reveal the next figures and what I've actually invested into this month, I really wanted to actually talk a little bit about the 3 quantum stocks that I noted in my first video in April 2025, just to give a little bit more context about who they are and why I think that they are going to go on potentially to achieve very nice returns in the coming years. Now, over the last 2 or 3 years, there have been some incredible gains within the AI sector. And if you look at one of the wealthiest, if not the wealthiest company on the planet, Nvidia, it has done a 10x over that time. So AI has really accelerated, and we've seen it with the introduction in the last 18 months to actually use generative AI, which has made workflows a lot quicker and things like that. So what are the next tech stocks that potentially might build upon AI or complement AI that might see future returns in the coming 4, 5, 10 years? So why quantum computing? Well, we're at the early stages, and in fact, things are actually moving very quickly. So people thought that quantum computing might be around in 15 or 20 years' time. However, companies like IBM have actually said that they will be ready to ship in 2029 their first quantum computer. The benefits of quantum computing means that they can actually solve tasks potentially 20,000 times quicker than current classical computers. So therefore AI, which has been a huge driver in the last few years, could be much more powerful and useful. So if quantum computers break current encryption, you're going to see all of the biggest companies in the world trying to become quantum resistant, which will mean a huge amount of money pouring into quantum security. So as well as that, it has the potential to revolutionize many industries, including pharmaceuticals, energy, finance, and many, many more. So I'm going to go through the 3 companies I've invested in. So that's D-Wave, IONQ, and also Rigetti Computing, just to tell you what they do and why they have the potential to grow very fast. Now, the reason why I've chosen these 3 companies is because they all do slightly different things within the quantum computing space. So with D-Wave, they make quantum annealers. So it's a special kind of quantum computer that's good at solving optimization problems. So the kind of things like the fastest delivery route for 500 trucks, how can you lower power use at a factory and things like that. So real practical approaches that could be used in a whole host of different industries. They use a slightly different approach from others, so they're not gate-based quantum computing, and their systems are already being used in real businesses like logistics firms and car companies. So why could they grow quite a lot in the coming years? Well, they're pretty much first to market with a working product that people can use today. So that's great, they actually have something out there. Their tech solves real world problems right now. So even if they don't have the ultimate quantum computer, they're already in the market and they're already making moves. So I find that quite appealing. So because they were already out there and companies potentially want fast fixes or want optimization of their businesses and their costs, they may use D-Wave for those fast fixes and complex scheduling. So it could be that D-Wave becomes the go-to tool. But again, we will see. The next is IONQ, and that builds trapped ion quantum computers where they use lasers to manipulate charged atoms in a vacuum. This is more a purer version of a quantum computer, what most people think of when they hear quantum computing. They sell access to their computers through their cloud, like Amazon or Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud, and they're working towards building fault-tolerant, super accurate quantum systems. In terms of their growth potential, because their tech is highly accurate, it's very, very key for scaling. They're already on the big cloud platforms, so developers can start building with it. And if their tech scales, they could end up leading in general purpose quantum computing, the kind that could revolutionize AI and cryptography. Okay, and the final stock is Rigetti Computing. So with Rigetti, they use superconducting qubits. This is the same approach used by Google and IBM. They're building gate-based quantum computers and also offering hybrid solutions combining quantum and classical computers to solve real problems. They also have their own cloud platform and are trying to improve how qubits work together, which is essential for powerful quantum machines. Now, why could they grow big? They're one of the few that are actually building hardware and software. Their hybrid systems could be useful before full-scale quantum actually arrives. And if they improve qubit scalability and reliability, they could be in the race with the big dogs like IBM. So all of these three companies are incredibly small in terms of market cap. So you're sitting in the low billions. So they have a lot of potential and a lot of room to grow, considering if you see Nvidia sitting at over $1 trillion in market cap. So these are the three picks and they do different things. It may be that one of them actually goes on to be a huge company in the future. But these are my three quantum stocks currently in my portfolio. So as well as the three quantum stocks that I've just been talking about, I have added a fourth company to that list, and it is UnitedHealth based in the US. The reason I purchased this one is because there was a huge sell-off. And as you can see in this news article, UnitedHealth stock lost more than half its value in a month, which is a huge drop for one of the massive healthcare providers in the US. The reason for the drop was the criminal investigation by the DOJ for Medicare fraud. So usually after such a drastic sell-off, there tends to be a little bit of consolidation before the stock starts to recover. Now, it might be that we slowly creep up again in terms of stock price. Potentially, UnitedHealth might have to pay a fine. Who knows? But usually when people get scared, they sell off. But actually, that is actually a really nice time to buy as well. So over the last few years, UnitedHealth have grown incredibly well. And then you'll see over the month of April and into May the huge sell-off that they've actually had, and I bought into that huge red candle there at the bottom. It's nice to see that some of the directors, I think, have actually bought back some more shares as well to show confidence in UnitedHealth. Now, I made a slight mistake when I was trying to buy this stock quickly on Trading 212. I bought the European version of the stock in euros for £250. What I meant to do was buy the US version because that's where the issues were. Obviously, both sides of the company suffered. However, I wanted exposure to the US NASDAQ as well. So I purchased a further £250 of the US dollar version of the company. So yes, we'll just have to wait and see. It might be over the next year, or this gets resolved in the courts, or there's some sort of out-of-court settlement, a nice relief rally, and the continued growth of the stock. I'm not sure if I will hold it long term, but I felt that this was such a huge opportunity given the dramatic fall of the stock, and it's starting to bounce back and starting to climb again. So I'll be watching this one closely, and then maybe I'll make it as part of my long-term portfolio, but certainly I'll be looking to hold for the next year or so. So here are my holdings then for the end of May 2025. I have £500 in my three quantum computing companies, and now UnitedHealth have actually been added to that as well. So that brings my total investment to £2,000, and the rest is sitting in cash, which is receiving 4.35% interest in Trading 212. So what was my final figure for May 2025? The quantum stocks really performed well, and I had a nice increase in UnitedHealth as well. So my final balance for this month is £5,782.36. So with my initial outlay of £5,000 which I've invested, I've returned £782.36, which is incredibly high and very welcome to see. However, I don't really want the stocks to run away, and I'm quite happy for them to actually drop a little bit as I accumulate over the coming months and years before what I hope will be a big explosion in the quantum sector. So I'm going to end with the stocks and shares ISA balance distribution table that I showed in episode 1. In episode 1, we were in the bottom tier of that table of a balance under £5,000. I'm glad to say that with my saving and my appreciation in my portfolio, I'm now in the £5,000 to £10,000 category, which equates to 16.3% of UK stocks and shares ISA holders. So thanks very much for watching, and after a positive May 2025, let's see if I can continue that run into June. Dig a dagger.